All right. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah, coming this early morning with a message. Again, this will be part 2 of Heavens Has Signed Off on Your Purpose. Heavens has signed off on your purpose. This means that who you were, who you are, and who you are going to be in the days to come is already in you because it first was, and now it is, and it shall continue. That means for somebody like me to prepare with a strong heart that there's no change coming. The title itself is an insurance that assure that heavens has already signed off on the purpose that is within thee. That leads me to what I've been leading to all this time, is that these things need be because they were in the kingdom before it was on the earth. So therefore, if the kingdom have them set already in what book is what, meaning there's two, one lead one direction and the other one is leading in another direction. Heavens has it already assigned to the direction for eternal. That means that when you see what you see on the earth as a servant of the Most High Yah, you don't come after trying to give them the best of what is spirit and truth, or trying to pour out a strong light, a strong bright light among people who have already been assigned. Their purpose has been signed off, you see. And this is not something new to Sister Deborah, because the Father always informed me these things need be. It's not going to change. It's not going to change the word that's in his bosom. It's not going to change the way of the world, the way things are going according to his will. It's not going to change anything. I was thinking of what I was saying to an individual this morning about Jacob, talking about how Judah is going to have his hands. His hands is going to be. His hands is going to be. So Jacob is telling someone like me that don't get caught up in Judah to the point where you thinking that Judah is the seed of the kingdom. You see, don't get caught up in them like that, because their hands are going to always be in the neck of their enemy. What does that lead me to understand? And that is Judah going to always fight against its enemy because it thinks and feel that it keeps itself. See, if you can remember, if you are a servant of the Most High Yah, and how in the beginning all the way to the end, and how Yah always fight the battles for his, always did. So if he's the battle fighter and he's the one that fights and have in time past and is known to have fought all kind of battles for our forefathers, what make us think that the Judah in which Jacob is talking about is the Judah that is the spiritual seed? The spiritual seed trusts in he that can win all battles, which is the Most High Yah. But the Jacob in which Judah is warning is the Judah that is in darkness, because his hand's going to always want to fight, always be in the neck of their enemies. You see, but the issue I have is Jacob's hands are greater in the neck of his brethren than the neck of his enemy. Something is wrong with that. Jacob's issue is greater amongst its brethren, its own nation, than the neck of their enemy. So just imagine their hands always being in the neck of their enemy is a sign that they always want to fight. They always going to put their flesh hands onto things, into things, not having the main thing, which is the weapon to defeat any and everything. But when they don't have understanding, then they missing the hands that can defeat any and everything. I'm going back to what I said. This is part 2 of heavens has already signed off your purpose. You ain't gonna get too many people wanting to hear that, because many people that hear this message and the message yesterday, it made them see themselves for really who they are. And this message here is going to make you look at you. Not look at Sister Deborah all cockeyed. Not looking to your left, not looking to your right. It's going to make you look at yourself. And it's going to make you turn in the direction where you should have been all the time. And that is not on this platform. Listening and beholding Sister Deborah. Again, heavens has already signed off on your purpose. So don't think he don't know your purpose on the earth. Don't think that you don't know your purpose on the earth, because you're conducting it right before your own very eyes. Your own very eyes. So this is what we're going to talk about this morning. Is part 2 of heavens has already signed off on your purpose. Okay? I want to come to you also about, it is said that America owns TikTok. How that was done is Israelis over there in New York and over in Israel, they have bought TikTok off so that America can tame their people in the way that they think, the way that they speak, to try to show them in a way that we're going to have power over your words. Too many voices. And to me, Sister Deborah, have said that several times. Too many voices in the land. And none of these voices is talking spirit and truth. These voices is not speaking the light. But even Israelis, and the Jews, the fake Jews over in Israel, and the ones that's over here ruling America, they are the ones that have bought this from China. China wouldn't have dare gave up TikTok. Someone says that, what's his name? Whatever the other guy name is, that he had bought TikTok. But now America owns TikTok. Now, how can you own something and you have fallen? You know why? America as a system is over. It's doomed. Now they have to bring it to the level of ground level. And they work in everything they possibly can to do so. They have informed the people in this country that we are going to bring you to the debris of dust. And the people in this country keep raising their flag. Every time the system of this country, those that are in ruler of representing this country, every time they destroy right here in this country, the people raise their flags higher. You see the sickness in this country? You see the mindset of what type of serpent they serve in this country, and have the audacity to try to still uphold a Christian flag. I'm going to say a flag because they trying to live not knowing what a Christian is. They have no idea what a Christian is. Nor do they want to study. They want to learn. They want to just put a country up high without understanding it is low. Without seeing that it's low as low can get, and it's going to get lower. Let's say it ain't to the debris yet, but they taking it there. Who's taking it there? Those who rule this country in the eyes of the people. Because we know the true ruler is not what you see and believe. And every time this country bring them down to the low, they raise their flag higher and higher. You see how sick the people of this country who have killed, stealed, and destroyed to have what they have. Do you see how they still raise their flag in the midst of falling? They have fallen and they still get up, raise their flag, and then have the audacity to raise it high, and it won't even blow, because that's where it's at. Those that are controlling this, what's left here, they're bringing it to the debris in which it is said to have fallen, to the point where everything in it will soon know that the power of the right hand is going to bring it down to his level. Right now, it's at the level of the flesh that can see it. But when you see, and many of you ain't going to see it, like the days of Noah. You didn't believe it, nor did you see it until it got in the midst where everything was destroyed. That's likewise. Babylon has fallen in me. I see Babylon down. And I think it's been 4.5 years. While people in this country you can tell how much you embedded in the flesh of your mission. It's when you love in this country to the point where you don't own the fact that it has fallen. And those that once led it has caused it to fall. And now they have to destroy you as a people. You are the last. They not worried about the land. It has fallen. They're worried about trying to get you down to the degree of the grave. And the people raise their flag. You see, it's deep. So TikTok is now owned by America. It ain't owned. It's amazing how they want you to think America owned it. I already know America has fallen. That means they can't own nothing. And if you keep raising your flag, and what that means is you're raising your heart and your mind and all that is invested in you in hope that this country is still got something to stand on. It don't have even 2 legs. It has nothing to stand on. It's on its rump. That's where America is. So it won't be just TikTok. They're going to wipe everything off to where you're not going to be allowed to say anything. You're not going to be able to make videos. They're going to cut you off. They're going to delete you. They're going to wipe you off. And these are the days in which I, Sister Deborah, look forward to. Even through the water this morning, as the Spirit was explaining to me about how people have to see things. to believe it. And in this process of what they don't understand, when Yah wants you to see what his will is and what has been before you, now it's going to interfere with your spirit, and it's going to interfere with your heart of your flesh and your mind. It's going to hit you that hard of sadness, stress, depression, sadness, that things are going to fall right in line. Let's say, example, when Sister Deborah said, what I'm going to behold, and I'm going to live to see it, where people, what they have is going to be snatched from them. You know why? They didn't do nothing with what they had, no way. And since people want to follow the protocol of the world and make sure the world is taken care of, and then themselves, and they gave nothing to show that they represent something above the world, and they desire to keep it amongst them and the world. You see the world take out 8 to 9 deductions out of everything you own. Everything you own. I'm not going to be surprised when they take retirement, Social Security. I'm not going to be surprised. These are all the things that's going to be snatched. But to those who represent Yah and serve Yah and show appreciation to Yah for what he has given them to hold on to his unchanging hand, it's going to be harder for them to snatch from them, even if you fall or you fail into the same category as everybody else. Y'all going to see to it that you be the last one that they take from. You see? And that's why Sister Deborah said, when they snatch everybody's homes, you see, then you're going to see who home you really upheld. Because it's going to show that you didn't serve Yah with the home that had served you. If he gave you a home, if he gave you anything in life that you didn't use it to show appreciation for him blessing you, then the day is before us when it's going to begin to snatch everything from underneath people. And I'm going to live to see it because it already lives in me. I've already seen it. Because people, they say, oh, they believe and they have faith, they have the Ruach, they have the light, they have spirit and truth. Now, y'all say, now you're going to see, Deborah, when it's snatched from underneath them, when the rug is pulled from underneath it and everything they have is taken. And he don't mean everything. He mean the things that you have cherished throughout this time. Not this day, but throughout life. And you have made yourself something when you didn't realize you was nothing without Yah. So it won't be those who have served Yah. It will be those who have portrayed to serve Yah, who have lied in the face of Yah. As what was that Malachi said, how have thou robbed thee? They still don't get it. They still don't get it. He said, you have robbed thee of tithes and offering. Now, the difference between that and the way they're saying there's no such things as tithes and offering, the difference in it is you got to understand what the heavens is saying. And then it begin to tell you, I will pour out you a blessing where you won't have room to receive. See, that's heavens speaking. That's when you have to be able to understand spirit and truth in anything that's being spoken. Somebody walk up to you and they start talking. If you know spirit and truth, you can rightly divide that bad boy and put it in the proper order. But if you don't know spirit and truth, you can't say nothing. If you don't have the light to shine bright in what is truth, you ain't gonna be able to rightly divide nothing. So your flesh has to divide it in its own understanding. And you know what that's like. So TikTok is a part for me is greater than taking and snatching the rug from underneath you. When you snatch TikTok, you're going to see moves. You're going to see as if people on drugs. Ooh, Deborah. Ooh, Deborah. Tell the truth and shame the devil. When these places of where people were able to deceive you, manipulate you, and to make finances and make something, make money off of deceiving you, let me tell you something. When these things are taken from you, you're going to be walking around here like you own crack on top of crack. No, you own crack and crack on you. That's how you're going to be walking around. Because your mind and your heart is not going to be stable. Because you never put yourself, your whole self, in the presence of Yah's desire. You put yourself in the presence of your flesh and this world. And you stuck yourself there, and that's where you at today. So when the rug is pulled from underneath you, let me say this. It's like taking TikTok and putting it under a different control. It's like taking Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and putting it under different control. You're going to see people in fights, crime, murdering, killing, stealing, taking, doing all kinds of things. Because now they don't have nothing to look forward to. Even the pole called deception. So they're going to have to be out and about, destroying, killing, trying to get something to feed their flesh, to keep their flesh going. Because they have not spirit and truth. They have not the light. So when TikTok is now, it says where the Spirit explained to me the Israelis, it ain't the Israelis, it's the fake Jews over there and over in the United States that has purchased, with a purchase it from the owner. You know why? They want to control you. They're going to take on everything and place it in their control as they control America. Now they have to control America peoples, the people in America. They got to control your mouth. They got to control the way you think. They got to control the way you feel. You see? So while people are running around here serving themselves and serving the world, when TikTok is off, when Facebook is off, when YouTube is off, you're going to be the ones up Mess Creek, and Creek going to be up your mess. You know? Because this has got to pan out. And it has to pan out in a way that one must understand that either you for the light or you're for the darkness. You either for the righteous or you for the evil. You are one or the other. And this is where we're at in that day where you're going to have no other choice but step out and show your true identity. From what level? From the level that heavens has already assigned your purpose. That's what level gonna come walking up out. And you're gonna see yourself for really who you were all this time. All this time on Sister Deborah's platform, wondering why I couldn't support, I couldn't respect the servant of the Most High Yah. And why I had to make her the evil one so I may feel good within me. You see? All of that, it's nothing you can do right now that'll change heavens having already assigned the purpose within you. It's a way that they're there to stay until the judgment of Yah on the earth hit you. So TikTok is one of them. YouTube is another. Facebook. When these things, but the United States, they want to make you think the United Snakes on TikTok. They're using the United Snakes to do their dirty work. But it's the Israelis, the fake Jews on TikTok now. In case y'all didn't know that. I know y'all did, and you ain't gonna ever know it. Because if you're on the dark side, you'll never be able to comprehend the words in which I speak it. And as time go on, and time in the darkness of the darkness, the more and more you're going to fall away. That's why the Father say, look for decrease, not increase. Look for decrease, not increase. You see? For Deborah, heavens has already signed off, baby, on their purpose. So look for the decrease. Don't look for people to like and subscribe or to come on and tune in, to come to the live, to come into a unity, at least to get closer to the body. They would do that, but you would know them. They would do it and you would know them. But the more spirit and truth you speak it, the more light you bring to the surface, the more their darkness is going to go its way. It's going to turn to the way in which has been assigned unto them, their purpose. Praise the mighty God. I was thinking also, so TikTok is not really the United Snakes. We know United Snakes has fallen. They don't own nothing. It's the power that owns the country, okay? That's in that. And you have to understand there is a power above them, which is Satan's and the demons, okay? They in full working order. Yes, they in full working order. That's why I said when they take what you own from you, first thing they want to take is your power to think, your power to speak. You see, they have taken so much from you to where you can't even see all the things. They have taken your right to clean air. They have taken your right to healthy food. Every food now in the water, everything they place in, they got you. They got you right where they need to have you, to snatch everything from you. And I'm not speaking to the individual who know how to serve Yah, who know that they are servant and know how to serve, that know that they have to be in some sort of unified unit with the body of Hamashiach, which Yah Christ is the head. People who got that mind and can just picture themselves being in the oneness with Yah, those individuals are not going to be moved. But if they think that they in the oneness of Yah all by themselves, and it's just me, mine, and I ain't thinking about what nobody say, then this is where this message come in handy. Speak to them and let them know. Yah has already signed off on your purpose. It's in you. It's the way you're thinking while you're in the earth. It's the way you're feeling while you're in the earth. It's the way you use what you use within yourself while you're in the earth. It shows you are born to come to this earth in the flesh, because that's all you represent. That's all you support. That's all you embrace. Then you have the audacity to raise your flag up even higher. You don't have to have like a flag as if a real flag. A lot of Europeans uses the real flag. But there are people who use the flag within their rotten heart. that they want to see things done according to the way of the world. They don't want to be touched. They don't want to be even tapped by the way of the Spirit. They don't want nothing to come near them because it'll cause them to think of who they are, who they were, and who they're going to be. But I say unto you, heavens has already signed off on your purpose. Okay. I was thinking about Jacob and how Jacob did it. Look how Jacob signed off. Mm, 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 mm. I was thinking about Jacob in Genesis 49. Jacob was signing off. See, you don't get it, do you? It ain't meant for you to get it. It's meant for you to stay in darkness and ride it out where you belong. It doesn't mean anything because you come to this page. If you're not right with Yah, and you feel that being right with Yah is a relationship with just you and him, and that's all it means, and that's all it's about, as if he has not pulled up Hamashiach to be his head, and in Hamashiach is his saints, is his church, and you feel you are the church alone. This is where the mindset of people, and this is what the Father would say to me again, Deborah, these things need be, because dark has already changed everything into light. Everything evil, the darkness turned it to light. Everything good, the darkness turned it to evil. Everything bitter, the darkness has turned it into sweet. So shoes are on backwards. And it been for quite a long time. To where they think that the shoes are on the right foot and they're on backwards. That's the mindset of the flesh on the face of the earth. So when I think about Jacob, I think about Jacob also signing off. Jacob also signed off, you guys. Abraham signed off too. Abraham signed off according to the heart of the Creator. He did not sign off the children he had outside of Sarah. He only signed off on Isaac, who was inside of Abraham and Sarah. Why was Isaac inside? Because Yah placed him inside. Heavens had already signed off on Isaac and Jacob. You see, Jacob signed off as well. He signed off telling each one of his children the ugliness that rests therein and the outcome, the consequences. Now, that was a father. That was a father, which was said not to call him father, but that was what you call a real man. Not afraid to tell his sons how ugly you all have been in my eyes. Because 99.9, no, let's boost it on up in Israel and Judah. 99.9 of Israel and Judah have no idea and could care less. It might be 1% that can even, now I would say 1/4%. No, I don't want to say it at that. Less than 1/4 of 1% of Jacob's 12 tribes. Jacob's seed. They understand the mission itself. They understand what Jacob and Isaiah and Abraham represent. 1%. And then you have the audacity to sit here and assume that Yah can't have a small remnant. Sit your butts down. Look at Jacob. Jacob signed off. Many of you have not even recognized that same signing off Jacob signed off is the same as heaven signed off your purpose. Heavens ain't afraid of you. Why would the Creator be afraid of that which He created? That's the mindset of the flesh of many people. That He has to answer to them. Oh, I don't answer to Him. Because a lot of times when you challenge every word that I say, guess what? You ain't challenging me, baby. I got a lane. Where's yours? Can you claim you got a lane? No, you can't. Well, I can. How about that? How about that? But as we talk about Jacob, Jacob did exactly what the kingdom did as well. Jacob signed off. That's how Sister Deborah knew that Israel and Judah wasn't all that in the seed of the flesh. There is an Israel and Judah that's a seed of the spirit. Just as Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were. They were the seeds of the spirit. You go to Matthew chapter 1. It's showing you all the ones that will come down from the kingdom as the spiritual seed. So when Jacob was talking, Jacob was signing off on them big time from Reuben. And he broke down who Reuben was. Unstable as water. That's sad. You know how unstable water could be? He tells him, you my firstborn, thou shalt not excel. What part of that y'all don't get? See, let me check y'all right quick. I'm going to check you up and I'm going to land you down, okay? As I'm just seeing this, it's giving me chills. It takes the Ruach HaKodesh itself to live in somebody, to pull up the title heavens had signed off on your purpose, and to bring it to the fleshly realm of the spiritual seed, calling out his own sons. That remind me of the kingdom and what this here heavens has signed off on your purpose mean. Jacob have signed off on these 12 sons, and you cannot get not Judah and the other 11, none of them, to go back and see what their forefather Jacob had signed off on. It matches the kingdom. Signing off on your purpose. So as I'm just sitting here looking at Genesis chapter 49 and how Jacob was gathering his son, and he was telling Reuben, his first son, his firstborn, he said, you're in Genesis chapter 49 and verse 4, he said, unstable as water. Now that's Jacob, the spiritual seed, telling his own son, unstable as water. Thou shalt not excel. Thou shalt not excel. You know what Jacob's doing? What heavens had already done. You know what Sister Deborah is doing? What heavens has already done and Jacob has done. I'm just here, the servant, to put the end cap of boldness on it all. Put the cap on it, Deborah. But make sure you bring it into the form of boldness. They didn't get it when the Father was giving it to them. They didn't get it when their forefathers were giving it to them that was of the spiritual seed. They don't get it unless the ones that's not the spiritual seed, but the wicked seed give it to them. Why? Because they have already been signed off on the purpose to serve the dark side. This is why you can't support. You thinking you can't support because you figure you don't need nobody to tell you and you don't have to do that. You're right. That's because you've been signed off already to follow the way of your flesh. The way your flesh thinks, the way your flesh feels, the way it conducts itself in its own wisdom, in its own knowledge, in its own understanding. Now, here is a very powerful punch for those who are in the spirit. Those that are in darkness and assigned to your flesh, you ain't gonna get it no way. Even if you, that's why he was explaining to me, embrace Deborah, embrace it, be prepared. There are people ain't gonna know their left from the right. They ain't gonna know up from down, dark from light. They gone. They are already gone. So don't think that they supposed to figure this out, or they supposed to get it, or they supposed to grip it with their understanding, or like they really got some understanding. If they understand anything, they'll understand everything they got it's going to be shown to be worthless. And then what you gonna have? I'm sitting here telling you about TikTok. What you gonna have? One, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and all that mess is out of here. What you gonna have? I'm gonna have everything I've been teaching you and some. Because greater is already he that is in me that he that is in the world. Something that I don't have to say that I have. It had me knowingly that he was in me since I was 4. Probably most likely, no doubt, before then. So just listening to Jacob in Genesis 49, go back there. Jacob wasn't telling his 12 tribes nothing. And that's going to make them see life to be, oh, it's going to go good for you, and you don't have this, you don't have this, and you need to have this, you need to do this. No, that's why Jacob wasn't telling them that. See, and that's what you all out there today is. You want to hear the lie. Because that's the only thing that right now you can deal with, that you can live with, is the lie. The deception, 99.9. The deception is the only surviving tool that many can live on. 99.9. That's all they can live on. That's the only thing they can live on. Okay. So when Jacob was telling his 12 sons, that's why they didn't want to come. If Jacob was calling his 12 sons and giving them an inheritance, they would have all been there. But by the grace and the mercy of the power of he that's in the right hand, which is the I am that I am, when Jacob called for them, they refused to come, but then the Ruach itself called for them, and they brought their butts up and pulled out and set their tail down to listen. See, nobody, and that's just like here. This page, you don't want to come here and listen because you're afraid, you're tired of being poked by truth. But the two-edged sword is coming to pierce every individual who try to stand in the way as if they are light, try to stand in the way as if they are spirit and truth. So that's what the two-edged sword come to do, to make sure any and everything is out of the way of the way it will move. On one end, it's going to pierce. On the other, it's going to pierce. It's going to move everything out of its way, and everything's going to move out of its way before it's hit by the two-edged sword. So sit down, clowns. Okay, so in Genesis chapter 49, Jacob is doing the same thing this servant of Yah is doing today. Jacob did it amongst his 12 sons, knowing that they would be the 12 tribes. Knowing. And he shared each one of them who they really were. Look at Reuben. He said in verse 4, stable, unstable as water. You know, water is not flat. It's forever moving. Thou shalt not excel. Do you think that what he just said, excel, thou shalt not excel? Do you believe that Yah gonna allow them to excel after Jacob said they shall not excel? No, they're not. They don't get it. Thou wentest up to thy father's bed and defiled thy it. He went up to my porch. Simeon and Levi are brothering. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitation. Cruelty. They are brothering, but they have instruments of cruelty in their habitation. In them, Yah. In them. What Sister Deborah said, heavens has signed off on your purpose. That means before you got down here, check. Yep, that's who they are. Sign out. Send them down in their mother's womb. Their father's sperm to their mother's womb. Sit down. Oh no, this is the word that nobody don't want to hear. That's why every imagination and thought back in Noah's day were evil and wicked, like unto the day of Lot. They didn't care if those were angels. They didn't care what they were. They were all out there all night long trying to get two angels to come out of a man's house. The imagination was evil and wicked continually, to the point. Listen to Noah. Not Noah, a lot. Here, you can have my daughters. You see the mindset of men, they always used, because they are there is something already in them that's sealed out of order from the creative position. Yah did not give you your daughters to seal, to use as cattle or as a mean of funds. You see? So even Lot himself wasn't worthy to come up out of there. He came up out of there cause of who? Abraham. Lot won't go into the eternal because of Abraham. That's going back to show you what I was saying the other day. There might be a way that Yah is going to bring your loved ones out with you because of you. But you got to stand in the righteous gap for your loved ones that's not in the righteous gap. And you got to stand in the right order. You can't turn around and think, well, these are mine. I'm going to take care of me and mine. No, Yah saying, seek ye the kingdom first. People don't get that. If the kingdom have servants, and you know that you know, when you don't know the people or the servants, you don't support them if you don't think that they are servants. Don't do that. But see, when he greater in you than he that's in the world, the Father is going to let you know who's who. But if you fight against who they are, it's not them that you're fighting up against. You fighting up against the one that has assigned their purpose to work on his behalf. So therefore you fight up against the Creator himself. And mainly because you're not in that narrow gate. So you fight up against the gate because you cannot enter therein. So just thinking of my topic, heavens has assigned off your purpose. Jacob did the same thing. He signed off his purpose for the 12. And the 12 today missed it again. Go back to Genesis chapter 49 and just kind of let the Ruach explain to you how Jacob broke down the 12. And when you see how Jacob broke down the 12, you see no good in him. You should have seen no good in them when they sold their brother. really, it was deeper than not selling him. It was deeper as the point where they didn't know if he was alive or dead or alive. So they really set him up to be killed, put him on the front line. The brothers. This is how Judah is today. They don't care about which one of their brothers is successful. Did you notice that? They kill them. They kill all their brothering that has something going on for himself. You can get a man that has a business and he works with 3 or 4 baseball team of young boys baseball team, and he is the owner of the team itself, and he pays for the 3 baseball teams to represent the black community. They would kill the one that not have anything to do with them, that's paying the coaches, they're traveling, paying for their uniforms, paying for their team. They would kill him. That's who Judah is. You see? This is just what Yah says all the time. And we always wants to get on this, those that want to get on here and make Judah all that and that, instead of making Judah exactly that which heavens has already assigned his purpose to be. Because Jacob told it. He sat here and he was talking about Simeon. He's talking about Reuben, that he ain't gonna ever, he unstable as water. Oh my Yah. And then told him he will never excel. Ooh, that's a seal, y'all. And then he said to Simeon and Levi are brethren, instruments of cruelty are in their habitation. Oh, my spirit. Jacob said, oh, my spirit. And y'all, I never, ever in my living felt that like I felt it earlier today when I was reading it. Before I got online, listen to what it says. Oh, my spirit, come not thou into their secret, unto their assembly, my honor. Be not thy unit united, for in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they dig down walls. Let's go over that again, because I want somebody out there, just that one. I don't need the ones that's the one that's not the one. I need just that one. I want you to hear what is being said. After he went on to talk about, Jacob went on to talk about Simeon and Levi, brothering, instruments of cruelty are in their habitation. And then he said, oh, my spirit, come not thou unto their secret, unto their assembly, my honor. Be not thou united. Be not thou united. For in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will, I told y'all, I've been saying that for the last 3.5 years. When I be saying self-centered, people don't understand. You are caught up from the flow up, and it's time to teach and preach. Heavens has already signed you off, your purpose off, just as Jacob done with the 12. And we sitting right here won't teach this, won't preach this, because we don't want no one to know. Spirit and truth. With the light in the right. We want the lie to only rest on the earth. And the whole purpose of Abraham sacrificing Isaac is that Yah had a ram in the bush. He brought Abraham to the level of obedience and showed him. But guess what? You see that ram over there? You can sacrifice him. You see, Yah always have a ram in the bush for his. Okay? But here, with the 12, ain't no ram being called out. Jacob is giving them exactly what I said. I would have to break down this message. Heavens has signed off on your purpose into 3. Yesterday was part 1. Today is part 2. And I might get part 3 out this evening. That's what I think I might do. I might do part 3 in a live. How about that? How about that? I might. I'm just still looking at that, because sitting here hearing Jacob do identical what Yah had put on my heart. Heavens has already signed your purpose off. So all this going back. Remember how Sister Deborah said, y'all need to stop clowning? You know, this is why. Because people are working extra hard for no reason. What do you mean, Deborah? You don't have to work extra hard. You don't have to. Heaven's already assigned your purpose. Be what you already assigned to be. And most people I'm talking to are people who are not in the body. They are not the church. They are not the one that takes on spirit and truth with the light. They are not the one that's going to endure and long suffer. They are the individual who has been signed off to support what Isaiah was saying in Isaiah chapter 5, I think it's verse 20, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, how the evil would turn good into evil and evil into good. So what is it saying? Good is not going to exist, because evil going to take it and cause it to be deceived as good, but it's going to be evil. You see? He said, and they're going to take light. Evil's going to take darkness and make it light, and light darkness. So what is he going to do? Is he going to let light be light? No, he's going to turn light into darkness and have it no other way. Same thing with good. He's going to make good no other way but evil. You see, it's going to make bitter into sweet. That means the sweet will never be sweet. It'll always taste, it'll be sweet, but it's really bitter. So the working of evil and the way it's doing things is through deception. And it has won. It has gotten the victory. I tell you all, Satan has gotten the victory in the purpose in which he was signed off. He was signed off to be. He mastered it. He deceived the whole world. This chaos that's here, I notice that the Father is not allowing people. He is not allowing people to speak on the level of the chaos that's within the world today, especially the United States. But he's allowing people to get there. People are so comfortable in what they're hearing, what they're seeing. They have so comfortable to where they have embraced what is actually going on. So what did that mean? He has to turn the fire up. Things has to start taking place in a way your eyes would never have thought you would see. Your ears would never have thought it would hear the things that's going to be taking place. Your eyes going to see things that you would never thought you would live to see. Oh, you're going to see it. You're going to see it. You see, because no one wants to see spirit and truth. No one wants to see light. So therefore, you're going to see that which you have been signed off to see, because the purpose is already in you. So Jacob was given the purpose of all the 12. That's how he got to verse 7. It says, "Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. And I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel." Now, do you mean to tell me what happened to the Hebrew Israelites, the one that say that they are the true Jews, but have become the true fools? What happened to the people who wants to say, we are the people? It doesn't matter if you are the true or the fake Jews. Why? Your action is matching side by side. It doesn't matter. So they can be the true Jews and you can be the true Jews. But you the true Jews that are the true fools. It doesn't matter who is the true Jews. If you're still serving Satan, what difference does it make? If you're serving Satan, what difference does it make? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I never, ever thought to go into this. But the Ruach itself wanted me to detach it to heavens has signed off on your purpose, just as Jacob was signing off on the 12 before he passed away. Just as Sister Deborah is signing off on the message from the heaven, bringing it to the earth in the form of boldness to those that is and are and is with the light in spirit and truth. So you too won't feel that you are like unto them. Separate yourself, sanctify yourself, set yourself apart from those that is your own nation. Come on now. Because you want to separate yourself as Yah is separating the small remnant. As Yah has separated the broad gate from the narrow. As Yah has separated the spiritual seed from the evil seed. From the Satan seed. As Yah has separated those who walk in the spirit and those who walk in the flesh. He done separated everything, and we keep trying to keep them added to us. Let them go. And they too should let us go. Go your way. It's no need in sitting among something that you have not been purposed to even be near. This is what you call this sickness of what they call free will. See if your free will helped you out of that free hell that you're going to be bound to. It ain't gonna help you out of your free will don't weigh a rat's behind. People come on and those that anybody that does not bring support at all, you ain't got no business on this page at all, listening to nothing. Oh, I say that with the boldness that has been invested in me. I say it with the boldness that has been invested in me. Because I'm sitting here looking at Jacob and y'all got me looking all crazy. Because I'm like, wait a minute, Father, you hear what Jacob said? Let's go back to what Jacob said here. In Genesis chapter 49 and verse 7, this is when Jacob was dying and he was calling the 12 disciples. Now the 12, not the 12 disciples, the 12 sons, which is the 12 tribes of Judah. Why is it you never heard no one preaching and teaching that Jacob's last words to them was not something telling them anything outside of who they really were? Just as Sister Deborah be trying to tell you who you really are. Jacob was telling his 12 sons, did they want to come to his bedside? No. But the order of the Ruach told them, you better get your butt over there to your fathers so he can tell you how ugly you are. That's what fathers were to do, even here in this day and time. You were to tell each child who they were and hope that telling them who they were, they will see who they are and turn to Yah. Jacob gave them the lowdown to the low of the flow down. And every one of y'all will stand on this devil platform and look at me cockeyed and don't know a rat's behind from your own behind. How about that? How about that? Because you don't have no spirit and truth. You don't have no light. You don't have nothing, but you have the audacity to try to challenge the words out of the servant of the Most High God. And you don't have nothing to work with or the word for. Go. So watch this. Y'all, I have never read verse 6 and verse 7 in the order of the way that I'm reading it now, because it brings sorrow to my spirit. This is what Yah is saying when he say to me, heavens has already signed off on your purpose, meaning your purpose is already in you. That's why you climb. And it says in verse Genesis 49 and verse 7, first be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I would divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. You see, these were the things we should have been teaching one another so we can dig within ourselves and see our ugliness, see really who we represent. But no, all they wanted you to know is you the true Jews. You're the children of the Most High Yah. What's they gonna discover is what I've been on this devil platform telling every last one of you. Those who have come and those who are gone and those who are going and still going. I tell you this, Yah is not gonna buckle up and buckle in for your truth in you to stand tall. He's gonna be about what he say, and he's gonna say what he's about. Here in Jacob is identical to the message that I'm bringing forth, part 1, part 2, and part 3. He has already signed off on your purpose. Already. So Deborah, don't be trying to get them to come or to bow to Yah or to come before the face of Yah. Don't get them to bring their repentance. Don't be getting them to bring their offering. Don't let them come nowhere near. Let them go their way. Let it decrease, not increase. Because long as it's decreasing, know that Yah is increasing in me. As long as it's decreasing, the likes, the subscriber, the support, everything must decrease, not increase. You see? Because people don't understand the day and the hour, not the hour, but the day in which we are in. The decrease is for the multitude, the mass, to go in the area of where darkness is assigned unto them. The broad gate. They're entering in by great numbers. And the gate is going to hold them all. Because y'all already know their purpose. So here in Genesis chapter 49 and verse 7, I'm listening to, let's go back to verse 5, and we're going to go all the way down to verse 7. Verse 5 says, Simeon and Levi's are brethren, instruments of cruelty are in their habitation. Stop putting the house of Israel and Judah on a big pedestal. They are not the goody two shoes that y'all want them to be. Because when you do that, you sit and you lie on Yah. Say he cursed you for nothing. Oh, there ain't no curse. We ain't do nothing. You see, you tried, it didn't work to make him a lie. That's what the Hebrew Israelites did in this day and time. These brethren in these camps, they work very hard to make Yah the lie so they can live the truth. This is what they always did, even back in the Torah. This is what they did. They never wanted Yah as their Yah. They always wanted an idol. Never wanting someone who's going to, now I know someone's calling. Someone that's going to be there, that's rule it all. They wanted someone that they could see and believe and trust. That's how it is now. That's how it is now. So here he's saying that Simeon and Levi's are brother instruments of cruelty are in their inhabitation. Verse 6, O my spirit, come not thou unto their secret, until their assembly. My honor be not thy united. For in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they dug down a wall. Telling you the type of people they are. But no, listen to this. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce. And their wrath, Deborah, for it was cruel. I would divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. You see, don't think my father don't know his small remnant out of the house of Israel and Judah. Stop trying to make him the lie so you can go on and continue to live your fleshly lives. No, that's not true. And then he turned right here in verse 8, and it says in verse 8, Judah, thou art he whom thy brother shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemy. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Thy father's children. That means the other 11 tribes sees Judah to be something. Judah don't have the ideal of why. It's because of Yeshua HaMashiach that came out of Judah. But Judah's sitting here, and it says how his hands is going to be in the neck of his enemy. That that there really tells us a whole lot about who Judah really is. He has let's read it. Verse 8, Judah, thou art he whom thy brothers shall praise. Because Yeshua HaMashiach came out of Judah. Thy hands shall, not might, shall be in the neck of thy enemies. When you understand that, and you understand how he called him an old lion and how he's going to be crouched down, that's lazy. That's slothful. So all this stuff about warfare, this was said to have been in Torah. So how did it switch to women being on warfare, get men out of their home? No. Judah was known to be a slothful man, a man that did not. Now he will work for the captive. He will work for Satan. But Jacob is telling you, his origin, not origin, but the person that he is, and the one that's telling us is his own father. Judah have been, I've known him to be this. So this is how the fathers were to send their children off. whether it was to college, to marriage, or whatever. You're supposed to tell them who they are. Not a man in Judah knows who he is. He knows who he is through his own father, who were to send him off like Jacob's son he is. It wasn't the mother, but the father has the gift and the power to know his sons. But these men ain't ever took care of their sons, haven't sat down with their sons, didn't teach their sons, didn't bring their sons up, didn't train their sons in the way of righteousness. They ain't done nothing. But today, they want to be the true Jews. You can be the true Jews. You are the true Jews, but you the true fools. No matter what you are, whether you the true Jews or the fake ones, you're still serving Satan because you're not serving Yah. How about that? How about that? Then when Yah pull up and say his small remnant, many of you all confused. What do you mean? What's going on? A lot of you ride on this 144 and you're too ignorant to do your count, to do your percentage of 144. That is a small remnant. And they still don't get it. But it's the remnant that Yah has handpicked and heavens has signed off your purpose in you. And that is not going to be the purpose to serve Satan all these years down here on the earth, 100. And then you're going to get you're going to be entitled to the Mount Zion. What sense does that make? It makes a lot of sense to Judah. Because Judah is a mind all in himself, within himself. Okay? So, the Father says, you are serving the very one you serve. You are serving the very one you serve. Because you have already been signed off the purpose, your purpose. So if you heavens signed you off your purpose, he's saying that you are serving the very one you serve. So Sister Deborah, I might come back this evening live to bring forth heavens has signed off on your purpose, part 3. This part 2 is a whammy. I don't know if the 3 can master it. What part 2? Part 2 is more in it than even what I can even break down, because I wasn't planning on adding Jacob, but Yah did. Adding Jacob is identical to the purpose of this message. Heavens has already signed off your purpose. Jacob had already signed off. Hold up. Jacob had already signed off. Hold up. Jacob had already signed off. Hold up. The purpose that was already spiritual invested in the 12 tribes. So we today cannot make them something that they are not, because Jacob had already signed off who they were in the flesh, and heavens has already signed off who they were in the spirit. So therefore, how can we stand today and make them something they are not? Shalom and shalom.